to see who has the heart.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
This is your fight. Now go out there and take it.
Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody tackle. Just grabbing, everybody. Grab. Nobody tackle.
Welcome to the Best of Tailgate Talk, where we go back into the archives and hear some of our special guests you may have missed the first time around. We'll be back with the Best of Tailgate Talk after this. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. Call 233-4430 or order online at Applebee's.com and pick your meal up with Carside to go. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 in Athens, just off I-65. Eating good in the neighborhood. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clemens Sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net. We're back with another Best of Tailgate Talk show. We've only got this week and next week to go before we're back with live shows in August. This week we start things off going back to a lockdown episode we had with Alabama announcer Chris Stewart, in which we were also joined by one of his good friends, Kim Waldrop, wife of then James Clemens football coach Wade Waldrop. You'll also hear Fox 54 sports director Mo Carter on the call as well. We move on then to former Auburn tailback Terry Henley. Charlie Dobbins, former player with the King and His Court softball team, next on the playlist. After that, we hear our first conversation with former Tennessee and Pittsburgh Steelers punter Craig Colquitt, before ending things with former Alabama guard and then Florida Southern women's basketball coach Betsy Harris. Don't forget to enter your nominations for the Athlete of the Week polls. Those will be starting back up in August, too. We'll be back after this with the Best of Tailgate Talk. P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
Now that you've got that new place on the water, BP Riverworks can finish the picture with a boathouse, dock, or seawall. Call Barron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks, licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097. Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Wreakin' Havoc Podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at WreakinHavoc.com. Welcome back to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
Hey, let's all join in together and welcome Chris Stewart, Alabama sports broadcaster, on the show. And we also have Coach Waldrop here as well. Chris, welcome to the show. I've got to tell you, I'm an Auburn fan, but Bama Zach has just been dying to get you on this program, brother. He is excited as anybody we've ever seen.
We're going to get better expectations for him.
No, Chris, me and Jay, we definitely we've been great to have you on, and I've heard you talk up here in Huntsville before, and you've always done a great job. But hey, you had a 2-year anniversary here the other day, and it wasn't the kind of anniversary you wanted to have, but we're glad you're able to talk about it.
Yeah, me too. I've had a lot of medical problems the last couple of years, but what really kind of started it was having a stroke 2 years ago this week, and very fortunate that I survived it. And I can point to a lot of different ways in which that actually saved my life during the heart issues that I had in the last 8 months. But I'm very blessed. I'm very fortunate to be here, and the people that have reached out to me during that 2-year stretch and the different things I've dealt with have been unbelievable and overwhelming. I'm very, very grateful.
So I just got back from College Station, correct? When y'all in baseball game?
Yeah, I had done the Alabama-Texas A&M series 2 years ago, and it was one of those deals where they played a Thursday night game on ESPN, and then we played Friday and Saturday as opposed to the usual Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal. So I was home Saturday night. We flew back in late Saturday night. I was home all day Sunday. I went to one of my niece's birthday parties on Sunday. Felt great. Felt fine when I went to bed at midnight. And I woke up 4.5 hours later. My wife woke up 4.5 hours later and thought I was having a bad dream, realized that it was something more than that, called paramedics. Long story short, they wound up getting me to the hospital and thinking that I, didn't know what was wrong. And so they turned around, and once they realized there was a blood clot, they got me to, thankfully, to Brookwood Baptist Hospital, where Jay Sharma, the neurologist there, was on standby, and he and his team removed the clot. It was they were very close to running out of time, but thankfully were able to do so. And not only did I survive, but I really, other than my left eye having a muscle issue with it for about 10 or 11 months, I had no ill effects from the stroke whatsoever. It was truly a miracle. And it was after that, about another 4 or 5 months, once we got into August, that I wound up needing bypass surgery, which was unrelated. And a week after I'm home, I developed an infection from that really sent me into a spiral where I spent 3 months in a hospital. And I'm 5 months into being home and recovery. And it's been a roller coaster, but I'm still hanging on. They haven't flung me out of that cart yet. So I'm still in good shape, and I'm very grateful.
And trying to stay away from this virus, too, I hope.
Yeah, then there's this, once-in-a-generational pandemic going on. And so, my family's got me wrapped in bubble wrap.
I was wondering about
this interview.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. So,
I also heard you had some visitors from the other side of the state. Maybe some boys wearing some navy blue and burnt orange came to see you.
They, we've always joked about this because of how serious people take the Alabama-Auburn deal, and we understand. I've grew up in the state of Alabama fan my whole life, but, the late Rod Bramlett and Andy Burcham and Brad Law are all very good friends of mine. And when I had the bypass surgery, during my recovery, it was the week of the SEC broadcasters meeting in Birmingham. And so at one time in my room, all at one time, I had Eli, John Parker Wilson, Tony Giles, who was a former radio partner of mine and our PA announcer at Bryant Denny.
Yeah.
But also Andy Burcham and Brad Law in there in my room at the same time, and had a chance to visit with them. Got a picture of all of us together, and dear friends. They really are. They're very, very good friends. And I actually called them all. I called Andy before I went in for the surgery because I said, look, I know you've been through a lot with the loss of Rod, and I want to make sure you're not caught off guard by this. I want you to hear from me that I'm going in and everything's going to be fine. Didn't know that it wasn't going to be fine for a while, but I said I just want to make sure you hear it from me. So yeah, those are dear friends. I also, when you're talking about the other side of the state, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Bruce Pearl, who reached out as well and actually checked on me and came by to see me in Tuscaloosa just before tip-off of our ball game, that first game. I mean, the lights are still down, and I look up, and Bruce is standing in front of me. He's walked across the court to come over and shake my hand and tell me how glad he is that I'm doing well and that I'm back, and just meant a lot to me. So, and Butch Thompson at Auburn's been a friend for 20 years. So, the rivalry's big. It's important. It matters, but not at times like that. And I just was very appreciative of what those guys did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Chris, we're gonna talk. Let's go ahead and talk a little football real quick. Coach Saban, when you're working the sidelines with Coach Saban, and he's coming off the sidelines at halftime, how hard was it? Do you have to put that microphone in front of him and say, "Well, Coach, how's it? What you think?"
Hosting his show and doing that, I prep for it in the off season each year by renting myself out to kids' birthday parties. No, that's not true. That's how I used to prep when I took phone calls on the post game show.
That's even worse.
It was a lot worse. But no, Coach has always been great to me, and there are times There's one time it was caught on film. It was a Tennessee game back when Landon Collins was still playing in Alabama. And I don't know if you remember. I forgot what year because, thank God, we've beaten them so bad so many years in a row now they run together. But there was one in particular in Tuscaloosa where we're up, I want to say it was 28-0. And we're about to punch it in and score. And somebody for Alabama fumbles right at the goal line, and Tennessee recovers, and dang, in the last minute, they're driving down the field. It looks like they're going to score, and I am spitting venom because I'm like, this guy was going to be in a good mood.
Yeah.
Be 35-0. Not even Nick Saban could be mad. And he was going to be in a good mood. And now here we are. It's going to be 28-7. It's a ball game again. He's going to be chewing nails, and I'm going to catch it. And dang, if Landon Collins don't pick one off right in front of me, and you can literally, as they were shooting, there's still photographers shooting back down the sidelines. You can see me jumping up and down with my fist like I'm a 12-year-old sitting in the stands. But he runs that sucker back, and it's 35-0. And sure enough, Coach tried to get mad at the beginning, and then he caught himself and started smiling, and it was a pretty entertaining halftime deal. But I don't try to win any broadcast awards. When I'm interviewing him, I pull the pin on the hand grenade and I try to get out of the way and make sure there's no just try to survive it.
Now, Chris, how hard is it? I know especially here lately, the basketball changes. We went from Coach Johnson now to Coach Oaks. How hard is it for you? You develop these relationships with these coaches. You do their shows. How hard is it for you to adapt with the change?
It can be a challenge because personalities are different. They all come from places where they've done things one way. I'll start with Coach Oates, and he was phenomenal. Of course, I came in the middle of the year, and I developed a little bit of a relationship with him prior to that. And he and Herb Jones and Kyra Lewis surprised me in a great way. They came to see me at the hospital one day during the summer, a visit that meant a ton to me, and really appreciated. And so I got to know them a little bit, and he's terrific. He's easy to work with. He's great. But you're right. You develop these relationships, and I've never enjoyed anybody more than I did Avery Johnson. A guy who understood the media, was part of it, is part of it again now. Knew what we were trying to do, understood I'm on his side. I'm his announcer. I'm not a network. I'm there to announce. I'm there to help them sink or swim. I'm right there with them, in fact, I told Avery when he got the job, I said, ain't nobody pulling harder for you than me, because I learned from Joe Fisher, the Vanderbilt announcer, who told Kevin Stallings back when he got the job, I'm your number one fan outside of your wife. The reason is because when things are going well, everybody's happy. When things ain't going well, you walk into a restaurant and people still smile and wave politely at the coach, and then they walk over to my table and tell me how bad they suck. And I see Wade Waldrop smiling over there. He's coach. But it's the truth, unfortunately, and fans don't take into consideration. Hey, we're actually we may actually be friends. It's not always the case, but you develop relationships, and we pull for the coaches, and we have to deal as announcers with more negativity, or as much negativity sometimes as the coaches. And we develop relationships with those players and the staff, and we want them to win. But no, I've been so fortunate. Avery was great to me. Anthony Grant was. Anthony and his wife Chris called and checked on me with both the stroke and with the heart issues that I have. And Mark Gottfried was terrific. Coach I worked with first, and not just them, but the guys that had interim labels in between. Philip Pearson has remained a close friend. John Brandon, who's gone on and done great things at Northern Kentucky and now at Cincinnati. They were great to check on me and see how I'm doing. So I'm a very blessed man. That's just basketball. I mean, that doesn't count Coach Saban calling, checking on me, the guys I worked with at Birmingham Southern and Montevallo when I was an undergrad, relationships that I've maintained. I mentioned Brad Bohannon, I think, but Brad came to see me at the hospital twice. Tons of people. Just I've been overwhelmed by the kindness of people throughout the stretch of all this.
Well, I tell you, Chris, we love you, brother. I mean, those guys that filled in for you, and you got a great crew you work with. Those guys are phenomenal. But it just wasn't the same not hearing you on Saturday afternoons. And as all Alabama fans can tell you, those guys did a phenomenal job trying to fill in for you, but it wasn't the same not having Chris Stewart there on Saturday.
I miss being there. it's something you get used to. It's something you train for your whole professional life. And in my case, I used to pretend when I was 5 years old I was a broadcaster. So, it's the type job you work for your whole life, and you got it. And I've had a lot of good years there. But then you deal with something like that, and it's kind of strange, turning on the radio and listening again. I went to a basketball game in Birmingham when we played Sanford at the BJCC, and I was not back calling the games, but I had a friend who invited me to go to the game with him, and he had some nice floor seats, and I talked to my wife. She goes, "I really think you ought to go if you feel like it," and I did. I was still 2 or 3 weeks away from calling my first game, but it was right before Christmas, and I decided to go, and I sat down, and it was really strange. I said, this is the first time in 20 years that I have actually gone to, or 18 years, I guess, that I've been at an Alabama basketball game without working it.
Yeah.
So I like it better working it, but I had a good time that night. So I enjoyed sitting there watching it, being a fan.
We'll be back with more of our Tailgate Talk conversation after this. P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. Call 233-4430 or order online at Applebee's.com and pick your meal up with Carside to go. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 in Athens, just off I-65. Eating good in the neighborhood.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with a Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC. We're back now with more of our conversation on the best of Tailgate Talk.
Tim, don't we have a special guest?
Well, I was waiting for an opening to bring her on. Chris, this was going to be kind of a surprise, but we've kind of blown it a little bit. I accidentally dialed 3 extra people here. But we were going to bring this lady on here. She was excited that you were going to come on the show. Coach Waldron's wife, Kim.
There's no surprise that to me that Kim, first of all, I cheated. I was able to see on the camera here. When I feel like I'm on an episode of the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, you go.
But in a picture of all you guys, Kimberly stands out.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I would too.
Which one of these is not like the other?
Right. But this sweet lady was at UAB when my niece, who's like my little sister, my niece was a cheerleader, and Kimberly was on the dance team, was a Golden Girl, and got to know her through Stacy. And somehow Wade Waldrop pulled it off. And you talk about one of the great upsets in sports. He was able to convince her to marry him. So it is good to see. Here's the only surprise. I saw Kimberly before I heard her. That's the only difference.
Oh, yes. Hey, I have to tell on myself. I told Chris already. I told him yesterday. I said, hey, guess what? I talked to Tim Lambert, and you're going to be on the show the same day as Wade, and he may hook us up. And he said, thank you for reminding me. So I told him all these years I should have been his assistant. So the reason he's here, guys, is because of me.
Well, thank you, Kim. We appreciate it.
And my assistant failed to remind me early, so I didn't clear the schedule completely, and I apologize for being late.
Well, hey, it all worked out just right.
Well, I should say Alabama could thank me for Chris too, but we won't go that far.
Let me tell you, she's got, everybody's got a job. If you're fortunate, you got a job in life, okay? And there are times where, even as broadcasters, our jobs, we got great jobs, but it's tough. Wade certainly, as a coach, has got a tough job. But there ain't nobody that's got a tougher job than a coach's wife.
Amen. That's right. Yep, that is right.
Because they've got a wife.
Thumbs up.
And especially high school coaches' wives, because they got to sit in the stands. And my sister-in-law, coach's wife for about 25 years. My brother had gotten a head coaching job, baseball job, and I won't say where, but he got the job, and about halfway through the season, you got to remember, my sister-in-law now was a high school cheerleader who basically never graduated. Okay, she's still cheering from the stands 40 years later. Okay, from graduation, but there was a day things weren't going great. My brother had to make a move and pull a kid in the middle of a half inning, and the boy's mama stands up and yells, "That's okay, baby. He just plays his favorites."
Wow.
Now, she didn't know that my sister-in-law was sitting about 7 rows behind her. Okay, and it was at that point, again, first year for my brother on the job at this new school, and my sister-in-law stands up and yells, "Lady, he don't have any favorites. He hates all of them." Which I still to this day think is the greatest line from a coach's wife ever.
That's awesome.
I'm going to remember that one. I have a lot of good one-liners too, but I'm going to take that one.
I don't think you do.
That's awesome.
Kim, go ahead, Kim.
Well, I was going to say, Chris used to do a Thursday night light, and he and Tyler Watts would do a broadcast on Thursday nights of high school football. So there were a couple of times when he would cover Chelsea High School when Wade was there, and I'd get up in the booth with him and Tyler and mess with them. But it was really just to get away from the fan.
It was a good move. We appreciated you being there, and the fans appreciated you being away too. It was good for everyone.
That's awesome.
Kim, I have to tell you, while we got 1 second, I'm going to sneak one in here. My daughter was a member of the UAB marching band from 2009 to 2013. So
okay. I'm not much older than that.
No, of course not.
I tell you, I've been really fortunate in my career, guys. I've had a chance to. First of all, I've never had to move. I've lived it. It's really rare. Normally, you have to bounce around geographically to live, different markets and different cities to wind up with a job like I've got now. But I've never had to move. I grew up in Fairfield, went to college at Montevallo, moved to Hoover when I got out of school, And I've lived within 10, 15 minutes of where I am right now ever since I got out of school.
That's awesome.
And the reason I was able to do that is I had some really good opportunities to grow in my career. And one of the places that was so good to me was UAB. Gene Bartow and Watson Brown created the sideline reporter's position for me at UAB when they first went Division I. And I was on the sidelines working for the Blazer Sports Network when they played their first ever 1A game at Auburn. If photographer for UAB hadn't grabbed me by the nape of the neck after the coin toss, I'd have been run over by UAB's team coming out of the tunnel because I wasn't paying attention. I learned a big lesson there. Always keep your head on a swivel when you're at the coin toss. But, no, I loved my time at UAB. They were great to me, always indebted to Coach Bartow especially and to Watson. But there were so many people there that were great to me. And if, again, I refer to them as one of my dominoes, man. If that one doesn't fall just right, then I don't wind up doing what I'm doing now.
So I've got to ask you real quick, Chris. Okay. Were you there when UAB upset LSU?
I was doing the television. I don't bring that up to Coach Saban.
I was wondering how that was my next question. Did you mention it?
I ain't never mentioned that one to him. But yeah, I was doing the silence. We were actually doing television for that. It was they called it ESPN Plus back then. They were a syndicator. And TJ Reeves was doing the play-by-play. He's a friend of mine still, lives down in Tampa and works with the Tampa Bay Bucks. Guy that was, I've drawn a blank. His first name's Matt, but he was a former lineman at Michigan, did the color, and I was the sideline guy. And that was quite a night to see UAB knock off LSU, and thank God I've seen a lot of other nights when LSU fans were ticked off and stunned sitting.
Yeah, absolutely.
After having games they thought they had won, and then had their hearts ripped out and shown to them. But it was that was a fun one. There is no doubt that was a fun night.
And I hope it happens again this year too.
Oh, I'm banking on it, man.
Yeah, I was going to say we were on that end this year.
Yeah.
I know you talk about your relationship with Coach Saban, and of course it's professional, but have you had a chance to send or receive an email from Coach Saban in the last month?
He's not asking me for advice on how to deal with stuff during the coronavirus. I'll put it that way. But he did. He sent a really, first of all, he and his wife both reached out very, very kind ways when I first got sick. But he also, after they filmed the coaches show one night, he was kind enough to tape a personal message to me and have him send it to me in the hospital while I was there. It was pretty funny and very, very kind. He's he's as locked in and focused as any individual you've ever encountered, but he's also a really good-hearted person and cares about people. And I was blown away just by the kindness and how nice he. And wasn't surprised by Terry. Appreciated Terry, but wasn't surprised because that's who she is. You know that. But there is a very kind spot in Coach's heart, and it's a lot bigger than people realize.
Oh, absolutely.
That's great. Well, Chris, as bad as we hate to say it, I'll be the Auburn fan and take the blame for the bad news. All good things have to come to an end, buddy.
Yeah, I understand.
It's time for us to take a break. But, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Stewart, Alabama sports broadcaster, thank you so much for your time spending with us. Kim's waving at you by.
Thank everybody for joining us.
Had a great time. Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all. Thanks, Chris. Thank y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was an awesome interview, awesome time there. Chris Stewart, Alabama sports broadcaster. You're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand. First to help with community events and fundraisers. First to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations. First to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events. And most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together. That's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
Limestone Drug, located on the square in downtown Athens, is your local Health Mart pharmacy. As your local Health Mart pharmacy, Limestone Drug is locally owned and has a personal commitment to the community. Limestone Drug honors prescription drug plans, including Medicare. They accept flex spending cards and fill prescriptions in minutes, not hours. Limestone Drug knows there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. So shop Limestone Drug at 200 West Market Street in Athens, your local Health Mart pharmacy. Limestone Drug, caring for you and about you.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
If your place on the water needs some attention, call BP Riverworks. Boathouses, docks, seawalls, and repairs. Call Baron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks. Licensed and insured 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097. You're listening to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
I've been listening to this guy on the Birmingham stations a lot. He's always one of my favorite guys to listen to. One of my favorite players from the 1972 Amazings. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Terry Henley. Terry, welcome to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Well, good to talk to y'all guys. I'm sorry I've been so elusive, here the past few weeks, but now I've landed, so, good to talk to y'all.
We were wondering, this is Tom, by the way. I'm the only, faithful person. The rest of these are infidels all around me. Well, we pray for them.
You gotta have a brain in the group.
Now tell us, what you call it. What kind of hunting was you doing the other week?
Well, I took my son-in-law and daughter to Abilene, Texas. We were deer hunting, and of course, pigs, and a little bit of everything out there. So they were fortunate enough to bag them 2 nice deer and come home very happy.
That's good. A lot of meat in the freezer. So I was wondering, thought all week, we get to talk to Terry. What are we going to talk about? We've talked with Roger before, and he's actually Roger Mitchell's how we got your phone number. But 1972, the Amazings, you guys played for a man by the name of Coach Ralph Shug Jordan. And Coach Jordan, unlike very few other coaches, come across the channel on D-Day. Did he talk to you guys about that much, and how much do you think that influenced his coaching philosophy with you guys as students and athletes?
Well, let me first of all tell you where I am today. Today, I'm visiting with one of only 2 of the surviving coaches of that coaching staff, Pat Morris. He was offensive line coach, and I'm visiting with him and here in Pelham, Alabama, with Bob Ferrier, who was a starting right guard, who has diabetes real bad and has some health problems, and they wanted to see each other because Coach Pat Morris is going to be 87 years old here in a few days, and so anyway, but to go to Coach Jordan and I, especially I traveled with Coach Jordan to speaking engagements and all that. So I had a chance to, I was a lot closer to Coach Jordan. I'd go by the house all the time and visit with him and talk during the season, from the time I got there to the time, until the time of his passing. And he never mentioned the war. He never brought it up. And all the trips and conversations we had, he never wanted to talk about that time. The only thing he said was that was a time in life, you know what I mean, that we had to do, thing we had to do. And we accomplished it, and it's over, and we're a better country for it. So that's about all he had to say about it. But he was one tough man to take shrapnel and not even receive medical attention and keep on going up on that beach, to fight the enemy each and every day. I mean, what a man. What a man.
Wow. My dad tells me a story. I don't know if it's true or not, because the stories we hear that you were walking to practice, and maybe that's one of the things that endeared you to Coach Jordan, was that you were bloodied and beat up and limping to practice, and he come by you and picked you up on his golf cart. Said if you're going to practice like this, you get to get a ride back to the athletic field house. Is anything like that remotely true? Or?
Well, you're exactly right. I played on the freshman team. You could not play on the varsity, and I didn't get along well, and so he would always send me over to the scout team, and I was only scholarship player. But what he didn't realize, it was just making me better being over there, running against the likes of Mike Colin and Ron Yarber and David Campbell and every All-American you can name, Buddy McClinton and everything else. And so I'd run on that scout team all day, and I didn't walk, I ran. And so after practice, I was fixing to go to the dressing room, and he come by in that golf cart and told me, he said, "Get in." He said, "You play like that?" He said, "You're going to be a great football player before you leave Auburn University." There were a couple of times at Auburn that I had an inkling to leave on the freshman team. After the Georgia game, I didn't play a single play. That the coach wouldn't let me play, and my mother said, "No, you're a bigger person than he is, and you just stay here, and things will work out." And they did. And it's tough when you come to college and leave your family, and you got all the pressures of school, and you got the pressures of practice and learning, and you get the pressure of competing and everything, and you've got to compete or you won't play, and especially if you got the desire to play. And I wanted to play. I mean, playing was all I ever wanted to do, was run the football, and I was very blessed to have a good family that supported me in that. I was a high school All-American, and you get recruited, and you get the recruiting is nothing what it is today. I mean, when I was recruited, you go and they give you $20 for coming there, and they take you to the ball game. You dressed up in a coat and tie, and then the problem with me was they let me go to those fraternity houses. And when they let me go to those fraternity houses, they had this stuff they mixed up in a trash can. It was purple, and everybody. Then you get to dancing, and my gosh, I knew that was where I wanted to go. I love that purple stuff.
I bet Coach Jordan didn't like it, though.
Yeah, and the thing about it, I went back home to Oxford with $19 in my pocket, man. I was ready.
Back with more of our Tailgate Talk conversation after this.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. School may be out, but you can still enter your nominations for the Applebee's Athlete of the Week over the summer for the upcoming school year. Just go to tailgatetalk.net and fill out the form. While you're there, check out the Tailgate Talk archives and see what you might have missed. That's the Applebee's Neighborhood Athlete of the Week. Enter your nominations today from Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Tailgate Talk, and 1080 WKAC. We continue with our conversation on the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
Terry, we've had Tom Gossam on our show, too. I think you were teammates with him and James Owens, too?
I certainly was. And Thomas and I later was teammates at the New England Patriots together. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, no, Tom's talked about the struggles that he had, as he and James had as, African Americans back in the day. What was it like as far as the team went? I mean, because, what he's talking about is, I guess, externally, all people, the public, that they had to deal with. What was it like within the team?
Well, let me tell you something. You just asked about it in the word team. You're all together with a team. Nobody was separated. Nobody was better than the other person. Yeah. Everybody was a team. And that's what James and that's what Thomas was when he came in as a walk-on later on. Thomas C. didn't come. He came as a walk-on, my junior year, I believe. I think it was, or my sophomore year. He was a couple years behind me. So anyway, James Owens was one of the finest human beings that I have ever known. One of my dearest friends. When I spoke at his funeral, he and I have remained friends until the day he died. He was a special person to me. He was an outstanding person that a lot of people, if everybody lives their life like James Owens did, this would be a better world. I mean, James Owens was one of the most kindest, but one of the most vicious football players that I have ever played with in my life. What a talent. I mean, just an unbelievable talent.
This is Tom again. We were fortunate enough to have his nephew Ladarius on the show last year.
Yeah. Well, he's just, James, I'm telling you how he was. I mean, one time they were going to do this movie of the 72 team, and this guy came in from California, and James would not talk to him, James. So they called me and said, James won't talk to him. And so I called James and asked him, I said, James, they really want to talk to you. He said, well, I'll go with them if you go with me. So on the way over there, I picked him up and carried him to meet the producer and all. And I said, James, you going to tell them about that 80-yard touchdown run at Florida, aren't you? That punt return. You going to tell them about that punt return at Georgia when Sullivan won the Heisman? You put us in good shape to score that last score. And I was naming off all these things. He said, nah, I'm going to let you tell them that.
I'll bet.
I mean, that's the kind of guy he was. He just was just a humble, great person, very religious, but I'm telling you, a blocking machine that nobody could handle.
I'll be dog. That is awesome.
Yeah.
The toilet paper in the trees, is that true? You say we're going to beat the number 2 out of them, we'll beat the number 2 out of them, and then roll the trees?
Well,
I had to ask you that one,
bud. I tell people, be careful what you say when you're young. It can come back and live with you for a long time. Okay? you just had a radio station there in Auburn, Weagle, and I believe the guy's name was Jim something. He went on the later radio and TV fame at CNN. But anyway, he had me over. We had 2 weeks between Auburn and Alabama ball game, and so he had me over on the Monday before on the first week on the radio station, and he asked me. He said, "Well, Terry, you've come a long way here. You know now you're going to play the number 2 team in the country in Birmingham." And said, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, the only thing I can tell you is we're going to Birmingham, beat the number 2 out of them." And Lord, I mean, all week, that whole week, and then they had me back up on the radio station again, and then at the pep rally, I repeated it, and people would go into class, "Yeah, we're going to beat number 2 out of them. We're going to beat number 2 out of them." And then lo and behold, in the dressing room, and I believe it was David Hauser came in the dressing room after the 72 game and said, "You're not going to believe this." And he said, they have rolled Auburn all in toilet tissue.
Oh, my gosh.
So he's the reason.
Yes.
So, okay, I did not know that, Terry.
Yeah. Yep. You're the reason the toilet paper flies now.
Well, they gathered at Toomer's Corners. They gathered at Toomer's Corner, but it was nothing to throw in the paper and all like what it evolved in after that ball game. After that ball game, the fire was lit, and, I guess something took off. Like I say, be careful what you say when you
You are talking to one of the persons who can definitely say that. I'd say be careful with what I say last week. Sometimes it still gets in the way. Terry, we won't take up any more of your time. I want to thank you for coming and invite you back anytime. Maybe we can get you on before the Iron Bowl next year. Yeah. And we can have some good, fun interaction.
Guys, I appreciate it so much, and thank y'all, and thank y'all for promoting still Auburn, and thank you for thinking about that 72 team. What a wonderful bunch of guys and great teammates, and it was a wonderful time, and I was very blessed to get to play with those guys.
Well, in my situation at 72, I remember the game, and it was 10 years later before Bo went over the top. So I was the one taking the abuse the following 10 years. So you guys were special to me. I'd always go back to punt, bama, punt, punt.
Yeah.
Bear Bryant win 2 championships in a row. But punt, bama, punt.
That's kick 6. That's kick 6. I don't want to hear that no more.
Thanks, Terry.
Terry.
We sure appreciate it. Hope to have you back, buddy.
Take care.
Thank you so much, War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Okay, I'll let y'all say that.
That was fun.
That was a good interview. That's good. That like I said, we've had some of his former teammates on, and did not know that what he spoke at James Owens' funeral.
Yeah.
And so I mean that's
one thing that was interesting. The story he was telling about Coach Jordan picking him up on the golf cart. And,
Dad's told me that story for years. I wanted to find out about that one.
I wasn't going to ask him, but I would have thought that had been a tractor instead of a
tractor. No, it was a golf cart. No?
And I figured.
Yeah, it's tractor. We used that for the hay when we carried it to the cows. The tractor was in use during football practice. They had to feed the cows.
Okay. I just figured the locker room was in the barn.
There we go. He said,
No. That's all right.
That was great.
That was a good interview.
That was awesome. That was real good.
I'm good. I'm spent. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk.
Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. P4 Physical Therapy is a new outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in Athens, Huntsville, and Winfield, Alabama, as well as Fayetteville and Knoxville, Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. Now that you've got that new place on the water, BP Riverworks can finish the picture with a boathouse, dock, or seawall. Call Barron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks, licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
Keep up with local school, travel, youth, and amateur sports throughout the week with the Play Action Sports Update. Listen weekday mornings at 7:30 and weekday afternoons at 1:30 and 3:30 as we bring you the latest scores, news, and announcements from Limestone County and surrounding communities. That's the Play Action Sports Update 3 times a day, Monday through Friday on 1080 WKAC. You're listening to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
Here on the Tailgate Talk hotline, we have Charlie Dobbins of the legendary fast pitch softball team, the King in His Court. Now, for those who don't realize or understand or remember, like us old guys here, we grew up with legends from King in His Court. They would, an all-star team of 4 men would travel around and play a full team fast pitch. And Charlie, I don't know if you guys ever lost. Did you ever lose a game?
Well, the score was always taken care of. You have to understand that. No.
It's like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Honestly, in the 17 years I was there, I don't remember losing a game, no.
Now, could all of you pitch, or did you have just this one outstanding pitcher? Did you pitch? What was your position?
Well, I mean, and again, with 4 men traveling like that, everybody kind of played everywhere. I mean, I started off playing the shortstop position, which I was a young guy then. I had the legs, I could run, still hit a little bit like that, but I could run if the ball got to the outfield. But all of us were pitchers in our own right. Some of us were coming to throw really, really hard, and then others would come in like trying to emulate what Eddie was doing. You know, Eddie was an amazing just specimen of a man, but being able to throw the ball as fast as he could, but also with all the trick pitches. So we had somebody that could kind of cover everything. And, you know, as he got older, we had a guy named Rich Hoppy that came in and between the legs, behind the back. And then it was just kind of how we did things then.
You know, I always heard the legends. I mean, back then I was playing slow pitch softball, but I heard the legends of the picking the player off at first base with a behind the back throw. I mean,
right. Yep.
Yeah, yes, it's true.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. And what it is I guess the best way to describe it was like that. You never knew what angle that Eddie Feiner was going to throw from. And he had such immaculate control that he would go in the windup, and, you know, everybody was trying to get an advantage. They're like, wow, if I can score a run against the King in His Court, I'm like, that's something to talk about later in the bar. Okay?
Yeah.
But then they take that little lead. Next thing you know, he just snapped it behind his back, and first base said, better luck next time.
Yeah. Well, now you mentioned Rich a while ago. Yep. Rich, you know, he almost lost his. Now, he was a lefty and almost lost that left arm in Vietnam, and so he had to learn how to pitch right-handed, and he's doing that behind the back stuff too.
Well, Rich Hoppy is one of the most amazing stories in sports you'll ever hear about. And I'll give him a little plug, but he has a book out called The Pitcher and the Painter, and you can get it on, I believe, Amazon and Lulu like that. And it kind of tells his journey. But, I mean, just a quick synopsis. He's a kid out of Bayonne, New Jersey, you know, saw the court as a young boy and really basically it created a spark in him, and he went out and threw against the wall, learned to pitch. And when the court came back 2 or 3 years later, he was on the mound at like 14 years old pitching against them.
Wow.
And Eddie saw something. Yeah, Eddie saw something there. And actually, arranged to send him out to the Midwest where the men's game was really, really strong still out in Iowa and Missouri and Michigan and those areas. And he went out and he kind of learned to trade out there. Actually, his nickname, he's left-handed. He's blazing hot speed. But they called him the Iron Soda Pop Kid. And he tells the story this way, like all young men when they're 18 years old, they wait for that call to get drafted. Unfortunately, his was Uncle Sam, and he was sent to Vietnam where he was with the 101st Air Cav.
Wow.
He was a forward scout, but he got injured basically, and all the rigors and terrors of that war came back. But he retrained himself to throw right-handed and went on to win like 17 or 18 world championships at the men's major level, and then was the featured pitcher for the court up until we retired the team in 2011.
2011.
It's a great book. It tells him, check it out. The Pitcher and the Painter. That'd be a great book to go and pick up and it'll tell the story.
Back with more of our Tailgate Talk conversation after this. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. Call 233-4430 or order online at Applebee's.com and pick your meal up with Carside to go. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 in Athens, just off I-65. Eating good in the neighborhood.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
The Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship has been set up to honor the legacy of Bama Zach Green, a huge fan of the Crimson Tide, along with Limestone County sports. The scholarship will go each year to a male and female athlete from Limestone County. Checks should be made out to Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship and can be sent in care of Garth Garris, 13833 Pinnacle Drive, Athens, Alabama, 35613. Donations can also be made in person at First State Bank of the South at 1319 Highway 72 East in Athens. Thank you for showing your support for local athletes by giving to the Bama Zach Memorial Scholarship.
How can you measure the value of education-based athletics? Well, the value is in what makes it invaluable. That's because school sports aren't just about winning. They're about learning and growing. School sports aren't just about gaining trophies and accolades. They're about learning life lessons, bringing a whole community together, developing character and integrity, having coaches who mentor you, and teammates who become lifelong friends. And you can't put a price on any of that. That's what makes education-based athletics invaluable. Of course, when you participate in school sports, you want to win and become a better athlete, but the purpose is so much greater: becoming a better person. Support your local school sports programs. And if you have a student, encourage them to get involved.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Takes the snap. He's going to fake the pitch. He's at the 20, the 10. He's going to get covered. Touchdown, James Clemens.
Be listening for James Clemens High School football this coming season as the Jets take on the best in Class 7A competition. You can hear every featured game streamed live online at PASnetwork.net, on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open PAS Plus, or on your PAS Plus app, and later on demand. You can also hear the replays Sunday afternoons on WKAC Radio. Join us for exciting coverage of James Clemens Jets football this season from Play Action Sports. Welcome back to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
Charlie, I say now that you are not only the head softball coach at William Peace University, but you're the owner at Grand Slam USA. Do you want to tell us a little bit about both of those?
Yeah, sure. I've been starting my 18th year at William Peace University. We're we're in the Triangle area of North Carolina, right in Raleigh, kind of right across the street from the NC State Wolfpack.
Okay.
We're in the USA South, and our conference stretches from Kentucky all the way to Alabama.
Wow.
We have Huntington is in our conference, so I come to Alabama every other year or so.
Yeah.
But we got 4 or 5 schools in Georgia, like LaGrange and Piedmont, Maryville in Tennessee.
Yep.
And then several schools in Virginia and North Carolina. But Division III program, we're doing pretty well. Sniffing the top 25 the last couple of years. So got a nice class coming in this year. Look really forward to seeing how they develop. And then I moved out of, I was kind of a mutt and traveled around the country, but I moved out in New England in '94. And we came down and came into the Triangle area, and then I became involved with this, with the Grand Slam facility. We purchased ownership in it. But basically, it's about a 25,000 square foot training center. We do baseball, basketball, and softball.
Wow.
2 full maple courts. We've had a couple of guys come through there. I think y'all might have heard a guy named Josh Hamilton.
Yes.
He came in when he was 14 years old.
Wow.
And another guy named John Wall that came in there and shoots some hoops every now and then.
Not that kid. He's no good. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, some crazy stuff, but, over the last couple of years, Carlos Rodon and Trey Turner, both, that's now playing in the bigs, and we've been really fortunate. I mean, and we're totally a training center. You don't go there for your birthday party. You go there to learn. I've got right now 3 ex-MLB boys doing lessons. I've got an Olympian there on the softball side, Leanne Giannetti, who's my lead instructor on the pitching side. So we have got a lot going on. We're kind of connected. Raleigh, Cary's the home of USA Baseball. So we do a lot of programming with them. And so we get teams in from all over the country, which is just a blast, man. It's all good. Okay, Eddie passed away, in February of 2007. He's actually buried in Huntsville, Alabama. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Did not know that.
No.
Okay. Yes. Okay. But when he passed away, you guys know the name, and a lot of the girls playing the sport now, their fathers and grandfathers do, but the girls don't. Okay. And so after Eddie passed away, we continued, we toured, and we would go out, but it just wasn't the same because he was the name and everything. So what we decided to do is we decided to retire the team in 2011. So we did the last 100 games of the King and His Court. By doing that, what we did was we reached out to the softball community, which basically Eddie was the person that put softball on the map. Okay, he was the first person to be live on TV. He was the first person, in Life magazine and Sports Illustrated and Wild World of Sports and all of these wonderful, wonderful vehicles that talk about sports, but he's the one that puts softball out there. So, in a lot of ways, everything that's happening right now with the fast pitch game, and with the women, which they're doing, it's a tremendous job, and I'm just so honored to be able to coach it still and be involved. But it all started with Eddie Feiner. Okay, he was the guy that, brought it to the masses. So that last year, that's what we did. We said we're going to go out and we're going to set up a program. We're going to do the last 100 games, and we went out and we played 100 games in 126 days.
Dang.
Okay,
that's a lot.
It was crazy. I caught 100 games. Okay, let me tell you, my hamstrings were screaming after it was all done. I'm 61 years old now. I was 55 at the time. But I'm like, oh, this it was fun. But each time we would go in there, we would make sure that we would let the girls know about, how the game was started. And the King of His Court, that's the famous team. But we also had a side team called the King of Diamonds. And you can pick it up. There's a website, kingofdiamonds.com, and that's what Rich Hoppy really, really focuses on now. But what it was about was, using softball as a vehicle to basically go out and, the easiest way to explain it is our moniker. And the moniker was like me walking up to you and go, hey, if you had a team, could I be on it? But it had nothing to do with softball. It was about how we treated each individual and our fellow human beings. And so we were going to take that forward. And I think we did a really, really, really great job of showing the girls how the game evolved but also teaching them how to respect it and take it forward from there. I mean, that last year, I think one of the most amazing games is we went into Chicago and played the Bandits. Okay, so 2011, the Bandits were the NTF champs. All right, now we're coming in. They didn't know who we were from, and they had heard it. Half of them thought the king of his court was LeBron James and his guys. Okay. Well, we kind of sent a note to him and said, hey, you can use it, but remember where it came from, you know. But so when we go in there, I mean, we're talking, this is a team that's got Monica Abbott on it, Juarez, all these strong pitchers, Wiggins, Galindo, I mean, all these Olympians.
Yeah.
And they're just excited to play us, have no idea what's going on. So, part of my job before the game was I would go over and talk to the team we're playing. Now, and some of the stuff, because part of it's got some comedy in it, I said, they have to help us or it isn't going to work, okay? So I said, hey, we're going to ask you to do a few things. Like take a pitch. It's okay. It's just your turn. We're having some fun. So girls are excited. The guy coaching them is a really good friend of mine, Derek Brown, an old fast pitch guy out of Michigan. And so he's like, girls, just sit back. You're going to have a blast. So at the end of the conversation, I go, any questions? And all of a sudden I hear this, in the back. And it's Monica, okay? So she kind of looks at me, and I look at her, and she goes, let me get this straight. I said, you 4 old guys, that's how she put it, okay? Okay, you're gonna play us? And I said there's going to be a ball game. And she goes, we're going to kick your, you can imagine where
Yeah.
Okay? All right? And I told her I've had my you-know-what kick before. Okay? So we just kind of laughed and said, we're going to roll on, okay? Well, Hoppy's the first batter. Now, Rich at the time was 65 years old, still throwing the ball, in the mid-70s like that. But he's the first batter. He goes up left-handed. He's standing there, and, of course, for the crowd, he's got his knees shaking like he's scared and all like that. And here comes Monica blistering. And he takes the bat, goes all the way around himself, comes around, sticks the bat out, and the ball drops straight down fair right in front of the plate. Well, the catcher grabs it, jumps up, fires the first. Well, I'm coaching first. So as soon as the ball hits the ground, I just start walking. I hit the bag right before the ball hits the glove. Umpire yells, safe! Designated runner. So I'm standing there first, and then I look at Monica, and she kind of looks at me, and then this big smile comes on her face. And so she knew then, okay, how it was going to go. But afterwards, just talking with the girls, they said, my dad he played against you, or my grandfather played against you. So just really fun stuff like that. And that's what the game is now. I mean, those girls right there, they're doing such a wonderful job of bringing it to our young kids out there now, and our high school kids and our travel ball kids, and promoting it. I mean, softball's in great shape. We're back in the Olympics. You can't ask for a better opportunity what's coming at us.
That's right. And especially female college softball is on the rise like never before right now. So.
Well, it's fun to watch, okay, Yeah. And I mean, again, I played college baseball. I mean, it's great. I was in the bullpen. I took a nap half the time. It's like that. But now, college softball, I mean, stuff changes on a dime there, okay? And it's just the strategies and how things work. So I hope that the networks, ESPN, and then some of the SEC network and the ACC network, hopefully they'll continue to really, really push it in the springs and really, really show it, because it's a fun game to watch, but it's also helping us build that brand and preparing us for the Olympics, but also preparing these girls for the opportunity to play.
That's right. Charlie, thank you so much for joining us, buddy. We are out of time, and it's time to toss it off to our sponsors, but, man, it's great talking to a legend, and we sure do appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thanks. That's Charlie Dobbins of the legendary King and his court, man. Those guys are something else. But it's time to take a break.
For screen printing, sign printing, banners, logo design, and more, look no further than That Shirt Printing Place. Located at 709 North Jefferson Street in Athens. Call 256-444-1827. That Shirt Printing Place. Visit them online at thatshirtprintingplacellc.com. Look for them on Facebook too. That Shirt Printing Place. 256-444-1927. That Shirt Printing Place.
Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. Call 233-4430 or order online at Applebee's.com and pick your meal up with Carside to go. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 in Athens, just off I-65. Eating good in the neighborhood. If your place on the water needs some attention, call BP Riverworks. Boathouses, docks, seawalls, and repairs. Call Baron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks. Licensed and insured 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon. Check out the WKAC sports page. Go to WKAC1080.com and click on the WKAC sports icon. You can listen to the current sports stream as well as game archives, past coaches shows, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk on demand. If you're on your smartphone, you can stay automatically updated as new items are posted. The WKAC sports page. Another reason why your best source for Limestone County sports is WKAC1080.com and 1080 WKAC. You're listening to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
We are joined now by former Tennessee punter Craig Colquitt. Craig, how you doing there, brother?
I'm doing wonderful. Glad to see football getting off the ground.
Hey, and aren't we glad it's SEC football? Who cares about all these other conferences? We got the big boys playing today, buddy.
The leaders in not accepting being held back. We just moved forward. So
exactly. You know what got me the other day? I heard somebody on one of the sports talk shows. They were making fun. They said the MAC, president. They were, or the athletic. They were so adamant. We cannot play football. Our doctors of blah blah said it's not no way we can play. And then after all these other presidents have come back and said, "Oh, now we've said it's okay to play." After 10 other conferences have said it was okay to play, unbelievable.
Yeah, everybody says they don't want to get into politics. Then you better just get out alive. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Well, buddy, you've had a great career at Tennessee in the NFL, and like I said, we were just talking off air. Not only you, but 2 sons and a nephew. It's incredible. All of y'all played at Tennessee, punted, and all 4 of y'all played in an NFL. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we're blessed. I grew up basically poor and left that neighborhood to improve my life, and I got to see things I would not have seen if I hadn't left where I was being raised, and saw there's opportunity for anybody that's wanting to take a step forward. So we're blessed, and I appreciate it.
What was it like playing for Coach Majors?
It changed my life. I mean, not taking anything away from Bill Battle, but Johnny Majors has an electrical cord stuck in the wall somewhere, and he holds the live wires in his hands. He's such a he's such a dynamic personality. But he put huge emphasis on the kicking game, and particularly punting, because he was a punter. And every time I saw him before he passed away, I said to him, I said, "You're the reason I got in the NFL." And he looked at me and said, "No, you got yourself in the NFL." So I always appreciated that comeback, too. So great respect for Coach Johnny Majors.
I'd like it if Alabama put a little bit more emphasis on the kicking game.
Yeah. Do y'all have any grandsons that y'all can that just are not big Tennessee fans that maybe y'all could just send to Tuscaloosa?
I've got 6 grandsons. Well, I like to say I got 9 grandbabies, and what I say is I've got 6 punters and 3 agents. So here we go.
Well, if you had one of those grandsons that just were not huge Tennessee fans, and they could be swayed, let Coach Saban know about them, because I'm telling you, man, we struggled for so many years punting, and we would definitely take one of y'all, because the last name Colquitt, when you hear that name, it's just synonymous with punting, but it's just unbelievable, knowing, not only you, but like I said, having your sons and your nephew, just following in your footsteps, and that's just got to make you more proud than anything. Not what you've done, making it to the Super Bowl and everything, but knowing what your sons and nephew also did.
Yeah, it's since you mentioned it that way, and one of the exciting things I do is for free, I'll go to area schools or talk during the summer, whatever, and meet with some talented kickers, place kickers, punter, snappers. I know the game, and I really enjoy seeing talent and watching it move forward. When coaches ask me to help, I tell them, "Show me your best athlete," and that's the person that's muscle memory is on the field, motivated, and wants to excel at the game of football. And punting, I played in high school. I tried being a running back in college, and man, the difference is a leapfrog in the paint as a running back. It only lasted one day. But I love coaching. I love talking with young people to get it. In fact, one of my students is on a 5-year full paid scholarship to West Point. So he's a place kicker and punter.
Wow.
And that's music to my ears.
I'm sure. Something to be very proud about. So coming out of college, you're drafted in the 3rd round to Pittsburgh. And, back then, I mean, were kickers, punters or kickers, were they drafted that high? Because that shows the talent and the worth that they thought that you were going to bring the team, and which you actually did.
Yeah, it is unusual. I think Ray Guy, he was first round.
Yeah.
And that was years before. But what happened in Pittsburgh in the season of '77, Bobby Walden out of Georgia was the punter, and he had 7 punts blocked for touchdowns.
Ooh, that's not good. That'll get you lose your job. Yeah, and it put a little emphasis on 2-step punting, which is what I was. Dallas, which is where I wanted to go, the Cowboys, they said they were going to take me in the 5th round the day before the draft, and I was pumped, and Pittsburgh took me in the 3rd, and I had just done a tryout with Pittsburgh, and Chuck Nolan person even. He flew down to Knoxville with other coaches, and I did not do well with him because I was nervous. But day before the draft, Dallas said, "We're going to take you in the 5th," and Pittsburgh took me in the 3rd, and I was disappointed until the PR director called me
and said, "What do you think about playing with Terry Bradshaw, Lynn Swann, Jack Lambert, Rocky Block?" Just, Mean Joe Green. I'm going, "Oh my gosh, this is a Super Bowl run."
And I listen, I know that probably broke your heart at the time, and Zach here is a huge Dallas Cowboy fan.
Oh,
but as bad as I hate the Auburn Tigers, as bad as I hate the Dallas Cowboys. So I want to thank you for beating them.
Oh, come on. I wasn't going to mention that, Craig. I was going to be nice, but I'm a Cowboys fan, so y'all broke my heart. So
I get it. Well, I felt that way until the PR guy called me.
Hey, them Super Bowl rings look pretty nice, though.
Yeah, I was going to say those rings helped get over it, too.
Exactly. Well, I tell you, the Dallas Cowboys have much better looking cheerleaders than.
I agree with you on that, bro.
That's true. And as a punter, you would probably have more time to kind of observe those type things, I guess. If you didn't go to the sideline.
It was the distraction I needed. But the inside joke on that, the Pittsburgh Steelers have never had cheerleaders.
Oh, never. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they don't have cheerleaders. Art Rooney Sr. said, "We don't need the distraction." Way back in time. And it was a very good point.
That is true. That is true.
They had the towels. So.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, y'all had terrible towels.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right. And the beat. The terrible beat.
There you go.
It's a great town. You're all probably going to mention this, but I hope my son makes it in Pittsburgh. It's been a very difficult transition after 15 years in Kansas City, but already he has noticed the difference in the way that people think about football and sports in Pittsburgh. He said, "It's obvious it's a way of life up here." And I said, "It absolutely is. It's a great environment."
It's just a hard-working type of, just a hard-working town, right? I mean, they just
blue collar, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's connected. It's transitioned from when I first went up there. There's no steel mills left. I mean, it's amazing to see that transition, but they don't lose that feeling. I'd like to see the Tennessee Titans and the baseball team go to blue and gold, like the hockey team, like Pittsburgh. Baseball, hockey, and football, they're black and gold.
Yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same.
We'll be back with more of our Tailgate Talk conversation after this. Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. Call 233-4430 or order online at Applebee's.com and pick your meal up with Carside to go. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 in Athens, just off I-65. Eating good in the neighborhood. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clement Sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net. We continue with our conversation on the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
How was it, being Tennessee fans, Britton sharing that Super Bowl win with Peyton Manning?
Oh, that's talking about thrill. It always leads into other stories. Peyton and Britton and Dustin too. They're all real close buddies from not just the Tennessee thing, but they have the same mind, just sense of humor and everything. But one day Peyton walks up to Britton. He said, after practice Thursday, back behind the facility here in Denver, the jet's going to pick us up. We're going to fly down to Ottawa and play at the what's that honors course? I think that's called in Ottawa, the private course. Peyton flew Britton and two other guys on the team down to the course at Ottawa, and they played for 4 days, and then flew back out jet. So Britton really likes Peyton.
So what was it like? We mentioned your son. What was it like having your sons following your footsteps
and nephew,
and your nephew following, doing what you did at Tennessee?
Well, they say that hair loss is connected to stress. So
I believe it.
Yeah, I mean,
no offense, but you were stressed.
I was incredibly, and really during the pandemic period, Dustin was released from Kansas City in April, and it was over money, and it's been since April until, just a couple of weeks ago that he got the nod from the Steelers. So I've just kind of been in a whirlwind. I don't really think. I don't know how not to live through your kids, but I've lived through my kids, and because I'm kind of their coach and coached them coming up, so it's very stressful.
Well, you talk about hair loss. That reminds me of a picture I have seen of the cover of a book that you wrote.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. When the grandkids start looking at their dads, and then look at me and go, "What's wrong with this picture?"
So JoJo,
I figured I need.
I was just going to say, JoJo, what happened to your hair? So are you JoJo? Is that what they call you?
I am JoJo. I wanted to be called JC. That's what I was called in college, but it came out with the first grandbaby, JoJo. So
that's awesome. That's a good name for a grandpa.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's endearing,
And listen, for people that are listening, and you can get the book on Amazon, and I'm sure where other books are sold, but man, the reviews on it are wonderful. I mean, and the illustrations, dude. You can kick a ball, you can coach, punt, and you can draw like nobody else, man. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. It's not on Amazon anymore. I've sold down to I've sold down to 500 left, and I'm doing a lot of giveaway kind of thing, and so it's they're not available now. But I am working on a book, an autobiography. Got some guys working with me on it. As far as I know, historically, I was the first two-step punter. And that's really why I was drafted by the Steelers. Was a big hit on, and that's why I was drafted by the Steelers, because they had so many blocks. And I hadn't had any punts blocked in college. Didn't have any punts blocked at Pittsburgh. But the name of the book is going to be 2 Steps, 2 Sons to 4 Super Bowl rings.
That's awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
It's a little catchy. I like it. I appreciate it and thinking that, but it's opening up, a private door, which, I use my testimony in churches and stuff and tell my story, but doing it in book form, it's a little more difficult, but that's hopefully coming.
That'll be wonderful, and I'm sure it's an emotional experience as well.
Oh, yeah. I want to tell parents, if you're wanting your sons to go down this road, get ready for stress. But it's your children. If you have children or you have grandchildren, you want the best for them. And I asked my mom when I was in my 40s, I said, when are you going to stop worrying about me? And she said, when I'm in the grave.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Now I get it.
Yeah. Well, you brought up the fact you were probably the first, or at least known, two-step punter. What do you think, or what are your thoughts on some of these guys now who come in and do that rugby-style kicking? It's, definitely different.
Well, I didn't have that technique. I just shot it like a pass off my foot out of bounds. And I think if I'd known how to kick the rugby kick, I probably used it. I know Chuck Noll would want me to use it because anything you can get inside the 20 or 10-yard line is what he wanted. So, but yeah, I'm open to that. So, in fact, I tell the kids to learn it, but it is different.
Yeah, without a doubt. And like one thing that we don't see as often, at least probably the last 5-10 years, is you never hear this term anymore. It's the coffin corner.
Yeah.
What happened to the game that took that out of it? Because it seemed to be such a great weapon when y'all guys could put that ball down there in that coffin corner, no return, inside the 10 or 5. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I definitely agree with that. I liked it so much before I got married, got my act to clean up. I wanted to open a bar, and I was going to call it Coffin Corner.
That's great.
That sounds more like a smoke shop.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you can read into that. But, being good at the kicking in the coffin corner, that's kind of is it a lost art? I don't know. Dustin, he's got all the records at Kansas City now. I think he's 429 punts inside the 20.
Oh, wow.
So that's when the defense knows the offense has 80 yards to go or more. That's the bottom line. But I think the rugby punt, they're looking, the teams are looking for somebody to fumble. Yeah. It rarely happens, but they do fumble that rugby punt.
Yeah.
I just want Alabama, just somebody kick it
and put it down there,
kick it more than 40 yards. And just,
well, we've not been bad on the punt. It's those field goals that's really plagued us.
Yeah. Well, I think we may have us a field goal kicker now. It's just, but I think we found us a walk-on punter. Yeah, it is hard to. I mean, it's craft. I mean, most time nowadays, Craig, you don't see college teams giving out scholarships for punters now. It's mostly a walk-on that usually gets the nod.
That's true. I walked on, but I was 20 years old when I walked on at Tennessee.
Wow, I did not know you were 20.
Yeah, well, that's. I was raised in the hood, so I had to get out of the hood. In fact, 4 of the friends I ran around with that didn't want me to leave the game are dead. I mean, they would be in their 60s, and they died in their 40s. So it was a rough neighborhood in some instances. So
it was good. That was a good thing that you did. What happened for you then?
Yeah, but I tell kids all the time, walking on is probably the direction it's going to go unless you're just exceptional.
Absolutely.
But there's nothing wrong with that because they give you a scholarship. They'll do it in the redshirt freshman or sophomore year.
Yeah. So you can work your way to that. So never give up. Work hard, never give up, and you can earn that scholarship.
Yeah. Well, and the game is so fast and strong and focused these days. You have your Appalachian States and Marshalls and teams like that can blow you out on any given day. Yeah. So the opportunity to play football and get an education is a huge opportunity, and that's what I teach. Really, is it's not where you go to school; it's the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, Craig, we appreciate you talking to you, reliving your past, and talking about your sons, and wish you nothing but the best. And once again, what's the name of your book, and where can you get it again?
It's not written yet, but I'll reach out to Tim.
That'd be fine. We will promote it for you.
It'll be Christian based, and the sky's the limit. We live in America kind of book.
Absolutely.
There you go,
we'll do it for you, brother. We enjoyed it. Sit back, relax, and watch you some SEC football today, brother.
I love it.
Okay.
Right, take care, my friend.
Take care, brother.
Take care, man.
Take care. Thank you all.
All right, bye-bye. That is Craig Colquitt, former Tennessee punter and Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl champion. Hate to say that, but he beat my Cowboys a couple times on that. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
P4 Therapy is an outpatient provider offering community-based care with a unique partnership model that allows them to consistently deliver world-class outpatient care, emphasizing personalized hands-on treatment. Whether it's orthopedic, physical, geriatric, or manual therapy, sports or neuro rehab, telehealth, or most any type of muscle or joint pain, P4 Physical Therapy promises to treat you with integrity, compassion, faithfulness, and selflessness. Locations in northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. Look for them on Facebook or online at p4physicaltherapy.com. Daly & Son Car Care is Ardmore's only one-stop auto repair and tire shop. Whether it's major mechanic or brake work or routine maintenance like an oil change or lube job, Daly & Son Car Care has been satisfying customers all over with their fast and friendly service. They're also your headquarters for quality Cooper tires. Stop by and see Wayne, Nikki, or Dale at 25600 Main Street in Ardmore, Tennessee, or call them at 931-427-4651. They're on Facebook, too. Daly & Son Car Care, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 till 5, and Saturday, 7:30 till noon.
Home security is not what it used to be. With Secure Connect and smart home integration features, you can unlock your doors and turn off your alarm from your smart home app. No more hiding a key under a rock. Get Secure Connect and live life connected. Call Ardmore Telephone Company at 800-830-9946 to secure your home today.
Now that you've got that new place on the water, BP Riverworks can finish the picture with a boathouse, dock, or seawall. Call Barron Pugh at 251-200-2273 or Tracer Pugh at 256-206-7097. BP Riverworks, licensed and insured, 251-200-2273 or 256-206-7097.
Just didn't want it bad enough. That should have been an easy win. What were you doing out there? You got to hustle. You could have made that play if you'd been open.
On the car ride home after the game, when you think you're helping by telling me what I did wrong and what I need to work on, all I hear is that I'm not good enough, that I'm supposed to be perfect, that it's not okay to lose. On the car ride home, all I need to hear is how much you love me and enjoy watching me play. That my worth isn't determined by my performance. That even on my worst day, I am worthy. That you see me learning, growing, and doing my best. And that is enough.
This message presented by the AHSAA and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Now on a platform near you, the only year-round weekly podcast covering the Huntsville Havoc, the Wreakin' Havoc Podcast. News, interviews, and more. Dropping every Thursday, we'll just reek of the Huntsville Havoc. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and listen, follow, and subscribe on your favorite platform via the PAS Plus app and online at wreakinhavoc.com. You're listening to the best of Tailgate Talk on 1080 WKAC.
And we're going to bring in Florida Southern Ladies Basketball head coach Betsy Harris, and she's joining us by phone straight out of Lakeland, Florida. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're great. I was looking at all of your stats, and you high school in Decatur, Mississippi, and you go overseas and play professional ball, and then next thing you know, you're down in Lakeland. So
I know. I think I got a little lost.
I don't know. I wanted to ask you what it was like living in Iceland. Yeah, right out loud. Was it cold?
It was my favorite country.
Really?
I recommend Iceland out of the 5 that I went to.
Now, how do you say the name of the place you were there? Can you say it?
This isn't fair because Southerners, we always add syllables to everything.
Yes, we do.
I say Reykjavik.
You say what?
Reykjavik?
Yes,
Reykjavik. Okay.
Reykjavik. Yeah, it's funny because, Florida's not the South, so nobody sounds like me down here. So it's like another country. So every time I talk, people say something and they laugh, and I'm like, what is going on here? I'm used to Mississippi and Alabama, so
right.
I've learned I've been here 7 years, so I've learned that this is definitely not the South.
Oh yeah, and people say, well, Florida's in the South, but they don't talk like the rest of the South.
They don't.
Yeah, she lives in the county. Grady Judd's the sheriff, man.
Oh yeah,
Bartow County, Florida.
We love Grady Judd. Love him.
Let's back up a little bit before we get down to old Sheriff Judd there. You started in Decatur, Mississippi, ended up playing at Alabama from 90 to 94. I'm the only Albie here in the room. But
I'm sorry.
we apologize for him all the time, so we get it.
So what was it like going from Decatur, Mississippi to Tuscaloosa, Alabama?
Oh, it was a shock because I went to a little 2A public school and I had 54 in my senior class.
Wow.
I go straight to Alabama and I'm sitting in a biology class with about 150 students. So it was my first year. It was a huge transition.
Now, how far is Decatur to Tuscaloosa?
It's only 2 hours.
Okay.
I tell people we're in the heart of SEC because Baton Rouge is probably about 3.5. Ole Miss is 3.5. Mississippi State, 1.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Alabama is 2 hours. And then Auburn is probably 3 hours. So
I say that's the heart of it, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's probably, growing up, being that close to all those many different schools, was there a variety of people who rooted for different SEC schools?
No, my whole family, I'm the only one that strayed away, and they all went to the local junior college, East Central Community College, and then they went straight to Mississippi State University. Oh. And my parents have a scholarship in their name there.
Oh, cool.
And my granddad was in the Athletic Hall of Fame, and it was football, basketball, and baseball.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. I thought I was going to go to Mississippi State, and I was not comfortable with the coaching staff, and I was just led to Alabama. I fell in love with it.
Well, I mean, it didn't hurt our feelings at all. You had a very successful career, and appreciated you coming and doing what you did. Speaking of which, there's been a little bit of resurgence in the women's program here lately. It's not what it was, and you obviously being a coach and successful coach at that. Do you even have the opportunity to still keep up with what not just Alabama but other teams do, or are you just so much focused on what you're doing you really don't have much time?
I'm able to keep up because I usually try to watch Thursday and Sundays because that's when the women play, and I have a good relationship with Christy Curry. Christy does a great job of keeping us informed and keeping us involved, and I really appreciate that from her because not every coach does that, and I definitely make sure that I do it here at Florida Southern. So, we still stay involved. I still stay in touch with Madonna Thompson, who's the coach over at Shelton State.
Awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've got a quick question. You were the Foreign Player of the Year in 1996 for the Herbals deal. Am I even close?
You're as bad as I am about myself right now.
I just had to give it a shot. You know what I'm saying?
You're a better man than me.
Yeah, that was in Iceland. That was in that country.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah. I didn't even know I was that until I saw it online, and I told my nephew, because my nephew's actually an Ole Miss fan, and he lives with me here, and he's a senior at Florida Southern, so we got that big game going on today. So I don't need our guys to let me down, because I got a huge Ole Miss fan in the house.
Well, my wife's son is a freshman in the big famous Maroon marching band in Starkville, so yeah, we're kind of, and she's a Bama fan, so we're kind of rooting for Bama today. Not Ole Miss, definitely not Ole Miss.
Well, it's crazy. I'm a big college football fan, and of course I lean toward the SEC, so I watch all college football. And anytime the SEC's in bowl games, I go for all of them, and people are like, you go for Auburn or you go for Ole Miss? I said, at this point, all I see is SEC. Right. I said, so I'm going for a SEC bunch, because it just makes our conference stronger.
It does.
It does.
Well, you're better than Todd is.
Todd will root against it, don't care. It ain't Bama, he don't care.
I think back in the 90s when Syracuse played Auburn, Syracuse has been running their mouth a lot, and I didn't say War Eagle or anything nasty like that, but I kind of rooted for them a tad, just because I thought, don't let the Big East beat the stinking SEC. So that was back. Yeah, you were a baby back then, so I don't know, but I do want to ask you.
I didn't graduate until '94.
Well, that's true. That's true. So playing overseas, being MVP and all that, you get a shot with the Detroit Shock, and how did? You were averaging 20-something, 26 points a game over there in Iceland, coming off that MVP season. How did your tryout go? How did you feel like it went? Did you feel like you did enough to make the Detroit team? And how bad, if really that bad at all, did you want to play in the WNBA?
Oh, gosh. I thought I was going to play the rest of my life. I couldn't think of anything else, because the game is such a huge passion for me. So I don't know of anything else. But there was about 300 people at the WNBA combine. Oh, wow. And so I got invited to Detroit and Phoenix. And I decided Detroit because it was a new franchise. Nancy Lieberman was the coach.
Yeah, wow.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her. And then Lynette Woodard was in the tryout.
Oh, wow.
So, I was around these great women, and the tryout I thought went great. I got to meet Joe Dumars. We played against Grant Hill.
Wow.
Jerry Stackhouse. They thought dunking on women was cool. So, I'm just like, you're supposed to do that, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, punks.
That's just when you bust a three in their face and then, tell them to sit down or something.
And honestly, I did that. But I felt great about it. When I go and I've got Joe Dumars, I go and I introduce myself, because I was always a huge fan of his, because I thought he was the most underrated player in the NBA. And he's like, oh, you're the shooter from Alabama. And I'm like stunned, like shocked, like, okay, just cut me now. I'm good. Whatever you got to do.
For him to know.
I didn't mean it, and I still got, I didn't mean it and said it. But my roommate and I, the other girl that was trying out, she went to Iowa, and we both got cut like a week or a few days before the season. And Sandy Brondello, who is the head coach for the Phoenix Mercury right now, she's the one that came in and took my spot. Decent player, just decent. She was a heck of a player, but it was really hard. I left there with a stress fracture because I wouldn't get out of practice. And when you have a stress fracture, I don't know if it's just something that, coach probably couldn't take a chance on me, because, getting over a stress fracture, the season would probably already be over.
Yep.
But it was a heartbreaker. Like, I could not touch a basketball for a month. I couldn't get near it because I was just so let down. And then I just put it in perspective, and I was like, I played in 2 exhibition games. I scored every time. I made sure nobody scored on me. So, I feel like I was good enough to play. It just didn't work out.
Yeah. And it sounds like you were, and you've certainly taken what you've learned as a player and just turned it into an unbelievable coaching career.
Absolutely.
And, I'm sure where you're at now, it's not going to be your final destination. Bigger and better things. Not that Florida Southern's not, but it is, a big deal. But as young as you are and as talented as you are, we're going to be seeing you at a D1 school at some point.
Well, the goal is a national championship, and we have more than any D2 in the nation. We have 30.
Wow.
And women, only 30. Women's basketball has not won it in our conference. So I tell the girls all the time, I'm like, be that special team, be that team that everybody remembers, be the first. So we got close my second year because we made it to the Elite Eight. And then we lost by 4 to the national champion, and then we've been to the tournament ever since. But it's kind of like, when we would go into SEC tournament, I always thought playing in the SEC tournament was harder than playing in the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
That was when, we had Jim Foster at Vandy. We had Pat Summitt over at Tennessee. We had Carol Ross over at Florida. You had Joe Champion at Auburn. I mean, you had all these big-time coaches. And, we had about 8 teams going to the national tournament.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Women's basketball was really good back in the early 90s when you were playing.
Yeah, it was huge. So even here, it's like going through regionals is so hard. You're just beating up on each other because you're still playing teams from your conference and then the region. But it's like when you make the Elite Eight, you can tell a difference. And you're like, okay, we got this now.
Yeah.
And, of course, we didn't then. But now, once you've been there, it's like, okay, we've got this. Now it's trying to get the girls to understand that.
Yeah. Let me ask you this real quick. It just came to my mind. The NCAA had a committee, I guess for lack of a better word, that they put together, and they went down through some things about equality. And it looks like this coming year they're going to have the women's Final Four alongside the men's Final Four for the NCAA tournament. To me, that's pretty cool. What are your thoughts on that? Having all those games together in one location, all those eyeballs and cameras, on the women as well as the men.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's not like I get down about it, or it's not like I get really excited about it. And I don't know. Maybe I'm different. I just want to coach it, basketball. I don't care if we're with the guys or without the guys. It's. I'll say on one thing, when you have double headers with the guys, it's a huge difference. It's great for the women's game.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, so hopefully it will be, but they already drew huge crowds anyway, especially in the Final Four.
I kind of thought the same thing, but I was like, well, they're selling out, so I don't really know why, but equals.
Yeah,
right?
I don't. I think it's just
a gesture.
It's just it's thrown out, and it's kind of like, here you go. Now you should feel better. Yeah. And sometimes when you do things, it's not necessarily the right thing, but with that, it's not a big deal. I will say that I love the doubleheaders with our guys, because we'll get their fans coming in the second half, and we've had some of them join our booster club.
Awesome.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
So that's been great. So I like working with the guys. It's fun. I don't know if it's just the level like D2, but they support each other. With it being smaller schools, it's closer together, and all the athletes support each other. And it's kind of like me being from my small town. It's kind of like that small school. Yeah. And then when you get on the D1 level, it's a different beast. It's so different. It just depends on, what you want. I tell girls all the time, do you want to win a national championship, or do you want to go to that D1 that's never going to win a national championship, but they're going to win a conference championship? And I said, that's the difference. Which level do you want to go to? There's nothing wrong with either. But, what are your goals?
That's great. Well, Betsy, it's been great talking to you, Coach. Sorry, I just feel like I can call you Betsy now.
Of course, do.
All right. Well, we're going to let you go, and don't be a stranger. It's been a while since I used to have to go down to Polk County a lot. I called it Bartow County earlier because I stayed in Bartow all the time.
That's more of the country.
Yeah,
Bartow's more of the country.
It's more of the country, yes. That time that gator run out in front of me and I almost hit it. I knew exactly I was in the country. Them and hogs, you got to watch out for them down there.
Yes, I've seen both.
Absolutely. Coach Harris, thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
Yeah.
All right,
good luck on your upcoming season, too.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it, and roll tide.
Roll tide.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Coach Betsy Harris of the Florida Southern Ladies basketball team. And we'll be right back here listening to Applebee's Tailgate Talk on WKAC, the Big 1080.
Come see all your friends at Applebee's in Athens. 12 minutes guaranteed or it's free Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 7 items to choose from. Can't make it for lunch? Visit them for happy hour, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. or late night. Half-price appetizers with beverage purchase, 6 appetizers to choose from. Call 233-4430 or order online at applebees.com and pick your meal up with Carside to Go. Applebee's Neighborhood Grill, Highway 72 in Athens, just off I-65. Eating good in the neighborhood. When things go wrong, State Farm is here to help life go right. And Agent Michael Howell is the one who can help get things back on track. See Michael for your auto, home, life, health, property, and business insurance, and be ready for those unexpected twists that life throws at you. Ask about banking and annuities, too. Call State Farm Agent Michael Howell at 232-5400. Visit him online at michaelhowell.net or go see him at 903 South Clinton Street in Athens. State Farm Agent Michael Howell. There when things go wrong, here to help life go right.
From day one, First National Bank has been built on a strong foundation of community first. First to lend a helping hand, first to help with community events and fundraisers, first to support local students, athletic programs, and civic organizations, first to support events like United Way, Relay for Life, and many more charitable events, and most importantly, working for our great community. Without you, there'd be no First National Bank. Making communities great together, that's what we strive for.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. PASnetwork.net. It's now your gateway to the Play Action Sports Network. Whether it's Play Action Sports coverage of school, youth, and amateur sports from Athens and Limestone County, or Calhoun basketball, James Clement Sports, and Applebee's Tailgate Talk via PAS Plus. PASnetwork.net. Follow the links to download apps to hear live streams and podcasts, enable Alexa skills, or listen live on your computer. Covering Athens and Limestone County area sports, PASnetwork.net. You've been listening to the best of Tailgate Talk. You can hear the archive of this and other shows online at tailgatetalk.net. Join us next Saturday at 10 a.m. Applebee's Tailgate Talk is a production of Play Action Sports on 1080 WKAC.